Transautomobile here. Hello everyone, I am Uday. In this video, we're going to have a look at this revolutionary crossover SUV. This is the third generation Renault Duster Deluxe, and this is where you have modern design and value for money, all for a budget price of less than 20,000 euros. Already standing next to this modern looking crossover SUV, I feel like I'm standing next to a premium car. By the end of this video, you will be able to cruise the city with some style, leaving dust behind for other road users to bite. Hello and welcome to Transautomobile, your specialist in exporting brand new vehicles to the continent of Africa and the rest of the world since 1973. Today we're at our third stock of cars near Brussels, here in Belgium, at Transautomobile. If you are not subscribed yet, push the subscribe button and the notification button to watch our latest videos on our YouTube channel. Watch this video till the end. We will talk about the Renault Duster model, the third generation Renault Duster design compared to the previous generation, and then we will talk about the engine and performance, the exterior, the interior, and then we will finish off with the key industries where this Renault Duster will be important. And after this, you will find out the secrets as to what makes this Renault Duster Deluxe a rare gem. Now we will talk about the Renault Duster model. The Renault Duster model was first released in year 2010, and since its release it had a big reputation for affordability, value for money, and fuel efficiency. But it should also be noted that the Renault brand itself has had decades of reputation for innovation in design and engineering. And this also did kind of reflect in the Renault Duster. For many decades, the Renault brand has had this obsession with the cross-country design. Now, early examples were not necessarily crossover SUVs, but they did share traits of crossover SUVs. An early example being the first generation Renault Espace, which was released in the early 1980s. And then in year 1996, Renault released the Renault Scenic RX4, which itself was succeeded by the Renault Scenic Conquest, both of which can be seen as the ancestor of the Renault Duster today. The Renault Duster model is based on a unibody construction method. This is where the chassis beam is integrated with the body work. And this construction method greatly enhances fuel efficiency, lighter weight for the vehicle, and this in turn enhances the driving performance of the vehicle. The handling, everyone. Whenever I drive the Renault Duster, I feel like I'm driving a little vehicle, and yet I just realized I have a nice, stylish crossover SUV that's actually quite spacious. And that's also because the engine is at the front powering the front wheels, which means there's less components under the vehicle, and that translates to more interior space. Now, when I compare this new Renault Duster Deluxe with the previous generation Renault Duster models, I see a very big difference. It's like a different planet, everyone. At the beginning of the video, I mentioned how this is a revolutionary crossover SUV. When we look at the previous generation, they had round edges, they had the designs that looked average for a budget SUV worth less than 20,000 euros. But this third generation Renault Duster looks like it comes from a different planet. It's worth less than 20,000 euros, and yet the design gives it the look of something worth more than 30,000 euros. I've never seen this before, guys. But make no mistakes, the design of the side windows look very alike the previous generation Renault Duster. Over here, there's just one big difference. The door handle is no longer over here. Instead, it's just over here onto the C-pillar. It gives the Renault Duster Deluxe a coupe look. Not only is it modernized, but it also screams a bit of premium because they wrote Renault in letters at the front. That's something you'd usually expect from a premium car manufacturer. I really like how you have the piano black for the grille just over here, and then you have the lighting over here, and it's all a straight line. Towards the rear, it's just as interesting. I like the new Renault badge, which has this 1980s style to it, and then the design of the rear lights, very simple, sharp-edged, and that's exactly what I love. Now, the hard plastic on the wheel arc and at the bottom of the door gives this Renault Duster a cross-country look. Now, not only does the hard plastic give the Renault Duster Deluxe a cross-country theme, it also protects the body paint from paint wears in long terms. And for the bonnet, you get hydraulic struts. Now, not only does this look premium, it is very convenient because that way the bonnet opens itself. As we approach the interior, it's also a different planet compared to the previous generation Renault Dusters, because the previous generations focused a lot on functionality with the round edges and with the practicality that was just about needed. Whereas here we see functionality taken to a new level. Now, this area where you have the infotainment system and the air conditioning is tilted slightly towards the driver, which gives it a driver-centric driving experience, everyone. Gone are the days when you've had stick for your automatic transmission. Now you have something small, simple. Now this is a factor that makes the Renault Duster a rare gem because it manages to combine the crossover SUV value with the car-friendly driving experience. How amazing is that? And that too, with value for money, a modernized styling. Very rare to see this for a car of less than 20,000 euros actually. I'm going to talk about the engine and performance of this Renault Duster Deluxe. Giving power to this modernized revolutionary crossover is a 1.3-liter 4-cylinder petrol engine which produces 150 horsepower. In the automotive industry, the Renault brand has a reputation of having one of the most reliable engines. And this combined with an automatic transmission means smooth acceleration and a smooth driving experience. And that too, because this is a front-wheel drive, this means easy handling. Especially on the road, you'll have additional traction. This Renault Duster Deluxe is tropicalized, which means reinforced suspension, reinforced radiator, and reinforced air conditioning. And this also means the petrol engine can use petrol of varying sulfuric levels. Shh! Can we just admire how quiet the engine is from a distance? Who said only electric cars and hybrids are quiet? Now, the engine is running and there's no vibration inside. Literally. I've been around many different vehicles where the doors, they tend to vibrate when the engine is running. But for the Renault Duster Deluxe, it's an exception. Look at this. The engine is running, I'm touching the door and I don't feel any vibration at all. This is very cool. Now over to the exterior of the Renault Duster Deluxe. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the exterior design does look modernized given the budget price, but then it also screams value for money. Starting with those prominent stylish LED lights that give the Renault Duster a premium look. And over here you have air vents, just like what you'd expect on a sports car. And over here you have fog lamps. And same case for the LED rear lights, which look stylish, and I like the piano black you get onto the side. The side indicators are integrated into the side view mirrors. That is really nice, and it should also be noted the side view mirrors have this silver tone to it, which is different from the bodywork. For me, the cherry on the cake has to be those 5-spoke alloys. They look amazing from a distance, and I really like it. It goes very well with the Renault Duster Deluxe theme. And you also get tinted rear windows. Now, not only does it look cool from outside, but rear seat passengers get to enjoy some privacy. And now over to the interior of the Renault Duster Deluxe. Now, every time I approach the interior, there's this nice animation that plays. It is very welcoming. It looks modernized, as I mentioned earlier, and I really like the difference in tone of the plastic. So over here you have the dark plastic, and then over here you have the brighter tone plastic, and that can also be spotted onto the door. But it also screams value for money, thanks to the tissue seats, which look stylish and that are also durable. You get the leather-wrapped steering wheel, which is multifunctional and, by the way, very comfortable to hold on to. And you also get driving pallets. Oh wow, okay, this is like a luxury car at this point. This is amazing. You get a detailed infotainment system with a rear view parking camera. That's amazing. And the air conditioning is now digital. It's in the infotainment system. How amazing is that? And you also get a digital instrument cluster, everyone. Now, towards the rear seats, it's just as comfortable as the front seats, but as I mentioned earlier, you get tinted rear windows, so you get to see what goes on outside, but nobody gets to see what goes on at the back. How amazing is that? And as I mentioned earlier, because this is a front-wheel drive, this means there's less components under the Renault Duster Deluxe. So this equally means more footroom. Now over to the boot space, which is very spacious for this segment. I really like the boot lip as well, how it is covered in durable materials. Now there are many industries where the Renault Duster Deluxe will be important. Industries like law enforcement, government, business fleet, rental agencies, or even taxi services. And it can also be ideal for personal use, whether it means commuting from A to B or going out with your family. Now, it is just a pity that that doesn't count as an industry itself. But what's actually very good and what's not a pity is that I get to drive around in a stylish, modern-looking crossover SUV, worth less than 20,000 euros, by the way. And now over to the secret as to what makes this Renault Duster Deluxe a rare gem. It's not every day you come across a crossover SUV worth less than 20,000 euros that looks very premium, by the way. It looks stylish as well, and at the same time, it is perfect value for money. I know, this time I didn't say great value for money, I said perfect value for money, although nothing is perfect. But this time, I'm afraid I have to make an exception, everyone. Those 5-spoke wheels combined with the hard plastic, which gives this Renault Duster a cross-country theme, it is just a wonderful blend. But it's not only about the looks, it's also about the feel, everyone. The interior, it feels very spacious, and yet the Renault Duster has a car-like feel to it when you drive, so which makes it very city-friendly and at the same time, very highway-friendly. It's one of the most versatile crossover SUVs I've ever seen. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment in the comment section below sharing us your thoughts of the Renault Duster Deluxe. I'm very, very eager to know what you all think. On customers' request, we can also prepare the needed spare parts kits for 1 or 2 or 3 years and send it to you with the vehicle itself, or we can send it to you by mail express to your desired destination. And don't just watch, contact us for a personalized quote on any type of vehicle. Our sales team is dedicated every day to upholding our motto, our mission, your satisfaction.